I'm Fleet Master Chief Raymond Kemp. I'm Master Chief Petty Officer of Europe and Africa, and I'm here to discuss the release of Laying the Keel, developing the backbone of our Navy. For a year, there have been working groups putting together this evolution in our educational system, this intentional leadership development, which was driven by the leadership development framework released by the CNO. To lay the keel is a Navy tradition, a standard and language that we know from days gone by. In the days of our wooden ships, to lay that central timber was to effectively place the backbone of the ship in place, to lay the keel. What we're doing now is using that foundational language and applying it to leadership development. The foundational leadership courses will be driven by time rather than advancement. So in days gone by, Petty Officer Indoc, a sailor takes an exam, makes third class, they go to Petty Officer Indoctrination, and then they press on, they do the same thing for second class, the same thing for first. So now, instead of being driven by advancement, the waypoint will be time served. So for example, between the first 1 to 3 years, every sailor will go to a foundational leadership course. Upon completion of that course, they will then be eligible for E5, and that requirement will go throughout their career. CPO 365 Phase 1 has evolved into what we're calling Sailor 360. Sailor 360 is a program which is a continuation of the conversation that begins in our leadership development courses. So you go to a leadership development course, and then when you get back to your command, they will be implementing Sailor 360. Sailor 360, a holistic program, a holistic approach towards developing a sailor that encompasses our 4 core attributes, which are accountability, initiative, integrity, and toughness. That continued conversation will build sailor technical competence as well as character. And that will be implemented at the command level. It is completely built by the commands, is intentionally created in such a way where they have full autonomy and flexibility to apply as they see necessary. Sailor 360 is intended to be all-inclusive, not just for E6 and junior, but for everyone at the unit. And so what we have learned over a period of time, peer-to-peer training is extremely effective. And now, as we broaden that peer group, we have the junior enlisted sailors with the senior enlisted sailors, as well as the junior officers, senior officers, if they're available to attend. And so the reason to bring in everyone to Sailor 360 when it comes down to the training is diversity of thought. That will absolutely enhance our mission and create an environment where even more innovation is laid out for the consideration of the commander. The good thing for competitive sailors, the good thing for those sailors who are already technically competent, who are already involved in the command, involved in the community, staying physically fit, seeking a higher level of education, they'll be able to continue to do that. This Sailor 360 program is going to facilitate these sailors who are already competitive, showing others what right looks like. This peer-to-peer environment, which we have exclusively been using for first classes and chief petty officers, will now be spread across the entire command so that each sailor will have the opportunity to see one who is doing something right and doing it well, and then encouraged to do the same. The synergy that is going to come from Sailor 360 is fantastic, as we've already seen it done in several different commands, and we look forward to seeing and enjoying the byproduct of this success across our Navy. Initiation is a point to where our entire Navy Chiefs Mess, not just the Chief Selectees, will calibrate our magnetic north to the CPO Creed. Within the Creed, the majestic words of the Creed are the expectations of every chief. We will teach that through 6 modules, and those modules will be taught simultaneously across the entire Navy. So all 30,000 chiefs through the weeks will be studying the same point and the same measures of the Creed. One of the biggest changes, and one that I appreciate the most, is that we will align the entire Chiefs Mess every week. We'll teach the same module, the same lesson across our entire Navy. So 30,000 chiefs will be studying the same thing each week, and that is exciting. There will be a measure of continuity throughout the entire Navy that'll certainly be a benefit to us all. The familiar language in the creed is still there. Now, the changes in the creed are so subtle that the average listener won't even hear them. Changes that make the creed relevant every day rather than just the day you receive the hat as the chief. For those of us who have heard the creed before, perhaps been hearing it for a while, maybe you have a favorite part. Mine is, it is required that you are the fountain of wisdom, the ambassador of goodwill, the expert on personal matters and technical expertise. That language is still there, and we're still called to answer it.